Hi, I'm Marcel Johnson. Tonight on Inside Louisiana Athletics, the Ragin Cajuns are off to a great start this season. Our Darren Walker is joined by head coach Heather Mercedes-Fontenot to discuss back-to-back sweeps of Lamar. Volleyball is 6-0 on the new season. And later, head coach Lance Key talks about the late goals that lifted Texas State past Louisiana in their Sun Belt opener. But first, the still nationally ranked number 19 Ragin Cajuns football has a dramatic come-from-behind 34-31 overtime victory against the Georgia State Panthers. Head coach Billy Napier joins us next. You're watching Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Hey there, Ragin Cajuns fans. Welcome to Inside Louisiana Athletics. We start in Atlanta, where the 19th ranked Ragin Cajuns football team went 2-0 this weekend with a thrilling 34-31 win over Georgia State in overtime. Joining us now to talk about that and much more is the head coach, Billy Napier. Coach, some people may refer to that win as an ugly win, and you may agree to that to a certain extent. But around here, at the end of the day, it's a W.
Yeah, a lot of positives in the game. I know we obviously didn't start the way we'd like to, but I think a lot of that has to do with, I think that was a good football team. Mm-hmm. Georgia State played well in the game. They played with really good effort. They played fast. They were physical and created issues for us. It took us some time to settle in, certainly to make adjustments at the half, find a way. Had the resolve to do that as a team, which I think is a good step forward.
Yeah, what I noticed, and you've addressed this already this past weekend, but our sideline, there was no panic whatsoever. Even being down by 14 on two different occasions, the sideline always had a feeling as if things were under control.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that we do have a high level of belief. I think we believe in our process. I think that we have some experience. We've got some veterans. A lot of ball was left. To be down 2 touchdowns in the first half, certainly to throw the interception and go back down 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. It took some mental toughness to respond to that adversity. We got that. I think our big deal here is to clean up the football part, be a little more prepared to play, coach them better, play a little better. And try to continue to improve as we go forward here.
Let's go ahead and get started with some highlights. Another cool overcast day in Atlanta. Low 70s. We're getting so lucky with this weather. But neither team, like you said, doing much early offensively. But the Panthers do get going late in the first quarter and put together back-to-back scoring drives to take a 14-0 lead. It stays 14-0 until late in the second quarter, and the Panthers are on the move again, and Quad Brown tries a deep ball, but Mekhi Gardner is there for the pick, and Mekhi filling in for A.J. Washington, who did not make the trip. He also added 3 tackles on the day. Pretty good day for that young man.
Yeah, no question. Got to give Georgia State some credit moving the ball. I thought the runner played hard. I thought they blocked well up front. The quarterback, for a first-year starter, I thought threw it around, was an athlete. But critical moment, ball's on the plus side of the field. Mekhi's in there stepping up, as a result of A.J. Being out. And he really played well and made a critical play in the game. So won his matchups for the large majority of the day. And that was a big play and kind of created some momentum and an opportunity for our offensive group.
Right, it energized that sideline, and the offense takes over. They go 80 yards in 9 plays. Levi finds Chris Smith at the 12-yard line, and he does the rest, and the lead is cut in half to 14-7. But before we talk about the touchdown, you got to talk about the 4th and 10 play. Decide to go for it, and Levi does what Levi does. He scrambles out of trouble, gives himself some time, and what I liked about the pass is that he stopped and really set his feet.
Sure. Made
a good throw to Devin, and nice pickup on 4th down.
Yeah, no doubt. Really probably can be a little more precise in some of the routes, but I think able to extend the play like Levi does often, and really good effort, second effort by the offensive line on that play just to get enough of a guy. He flips his platform, throws a strike, and took some courage for Devin to make that play with all the bodies flying around. But really the play of the game on offense, because we got some momentum, got a score, got it to 1 score going into the half.
Third quarter now, Georgia State intercepts Levi on the first possession of the second half. They go 66 yards in 9 plays to take a 21-7 lead, but the Cajuns answer with a drive of their own. You move the ball through the air this time. Kyron Lacey, the true freshman, gets his first touchdown of his Ragin' Cajuns career to make it 21-14.
Yeah, no, I think back-to-back interception possessions on offense, to have the wherewithal to go back to work there, battle our way through it. Certainly Levi to respond the way he did for our offensive line to step up. I thought a lot of positives in the second half.
Cajuns tie the game up on the next possession, this time doing the damage on the ground. Eli Mitchell goes for 59 yards to the end zone. It's tied at 21. And Shane Vallow, Ken Marks, Osiris Torrance just do a phenomenal job of blocking up front.
Yeah, really key block by the backside of the left guard. His backer went to the end of the line to pressure. He slammed back on the combination, created that crease, and then certainly got it to the second level. We know what Eli can do once we get it there.
Go to the fourth quarter now, and it's Eli again. Great vision to see the hole open up on the right side, created by Max Mitchell, and he's off to the races again, this time 53 yards. He's taken down at the 1-yard line, and then Regis finishes things up from 2 yards out, and now we have the lead 28-21.
Yeah, I thought the staff made some really good adjustments. We picked from the right things there, good zone combinations. Eli did a good job with his eye control and footwork, pressed the hole, and ball got out the back door there, and then Trey comes in and punches it in. So now we got a ball game here, and we got to play our way through it.
Georgia State answers 28-28 all midway through the fourth quarter. Things get a little dicey late in the game as Levi gets sacked on a fourth down on our own 39-yard line. But the defense, as they did a lot in the second half, they rose to the occasion and gave us a chance to win the game.
Yeah, 5 3-and-outs, I think, in the second half. Really critical stops here right at the end of the game. The last possession, and then certainly the overtime possession. So, that defense has done well for us and certainly kept us in the game, kept us alive here after some critical errors. But good team win here. Special teams made a few plays, probably can do better in areas, but I thought we overall adjusted and then kind of settled in and played our way through it.
Yeah, so we go to overtime. Like you said, a 3-and-out on the defensive side. So Georgia State kicks the field goal to go 31-28, and then it's Elijah Mitchell on the fourth carry of overtime. Max Mitchell really did a good job of kind of setting the edge there, and he just got around it and took it in for the win.
Yeah, good job covering up the movement on the front side. Ball rolled off the table, and Eli took it in, and that was that.
The home opener this Saturday, Georgia Southern comes to town. The Golden Eagles beat Campbell 27-26 earlier this year, and then they had a postponement when they were supposed to play FAU because the Owls had some COVID issues. Talk about the Georgia Southern team.
Well, a little bit of unknown here. Had 33 players out for the opener. Didn't get a chance to play last week, so in general, I know a lot of uncertainty. I think we've got a pretty good grasp of their identity. Same staff in place. They got a lot of height, length, and speed on their team. Always a tough matchup. The unique offense to go along with the team speed on defense and special teams. And certainly we're excited because we're coming back home to play. Haven't been on the road for 2 weeks. It's going to be good to be in our house, playing in front of our people.
Definitely. Thanks for the time, Coach. As always, 11 o'clock kickoff at Cajun Field, 25% capacity, so get those tickets and get in there. We need all the folks we can get in Cajun Field. Go to RagingCajuns.com for all your ticket information and COVID preparedness.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Darren Walker sits down with head coach Heather Mercedes-Fontenot to discuss back-to-back sweeps of Lamar.
You are UL Lafayette's #1 priority. That's why we're following guidelines set by national and local health experts to protect you during the COVID-19 pandemic. The university is reorganizing rooms and spaces to reinforce social distancing, sanitizing campus buildings, and mandating that everyone wears protective equipment. But don't take our word for it. Take a look for yourself at some of the many safety measures we're implementing, and you'll see that our priority is you.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
You are UL Lafayette's #1 priority. That's why we're following guidelines set by national and local health experts to protect you during the COVID-19 pandemic. The university is reorganizing rooms and spaces to reinforce social distancing, sanitizing campus buildings, and mandating that everyone wears protective equipment. But don't just take our word for it. Take a look for yourself at some of the many safety measures we're implementing, and you'll see that our priority is you.
We all have dreams.
I want to dance. I like to build things. I want to explore.
For over 120 years, the University of Louisiana at Lafayette has made it possible for young dreams to become realities. So go ahead, dream big. We'll help you make those dreams come true.
The health and safety of our students is our main concern. That is why the Office of University Housing and Residential Life has developed new protocols and procedures to strengthen our efforts to protect you during this pandemic. Housing staff is trained and ready to carry out safety protocols and guidelines set by local and national health authorities. All common areas will be cleaned and sanitized often, and no more than 2 residents will share a bedroom and bathroom. These are just a few of the safety measures we are implementing to ensure that our priority is you.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. The Ragin Cajuns volleyball team is off to their best start since 2014 after a 2-0 week to push their record to 6-0. Here now to talk about that and a lot more is the head coach, Heather Mercedes-Fontenot. 2 sweeps of Lamar this weekend. Only one game in there that you really were tested or had to battle for the win. I imagine this is something you can get used to, right?
Yeah, we can for sure get used to this. I don't like our kids being tested like that when it was due to their own cause, right? You know, we just were really error prone in that first match against Lamar, and we played a little flat. And but what was more impressive was we came back, and we have to get used to doing this, right? Because we're going to have 2 matches on one day and then a third on the next day. And we watched film. They corrected a few things, and man, totally different match. The second match on Saturday.
The first set, in the first match, you used a couple of runs there to win that one by 10. Haley Wisnowski, kind of the star of that show. But in the second set, it was a little, like we said, a different story. You had to overcome a couple of deficits. The story in this one, that most of the scoring came from players not named Haley Wisnowski. Kelsey Bennett had 13 kills on the day. She had a good game.
She did. And, you know, and we're talking with our setter about moving the ball around a lot more. And, you know, there's going to be matches where it's the Haley show. And then, again, because we play our opponent multiple times in a weekend, we have to know how to turn it. And so now this person is the star of the show, whether it's Kelsey or this person is getting the ball more, you know, and become a much more balanced attack doing that in the long run. And maybe we'll save Haley's shoulder till conference tournament a little bit.
Third set, you're tied at 9. You go on a 14-5 run to finish things off and complete the sweep. So we go to the second match of the day, and in this first set you jumped all over them, and you just said the words balanced attack. You got production from Bennett, Tia Jade Smith, Kara Barnes, all had 3 kills each. in that particular.
Yeah, and that's said it. And again, that's exactly what we watched on film. It's like, okay, hey, we can do this a little bit differently because here, based on what their block is doing, based on what they're showing us, these are some adjustments that we can make. But, shout out to our girls for responding so quickly and saying, okay, we can switch this right now.
Second set, more of the same, but this time it's another name, Kelsey Bennett. She kind of led the way to the 25-14 win.
Yeah, I know. She's had a great weekend. She's really doing a good job and kind of coming into her own as an attacker for sure.
You win the third set 25-13, and a couple of names that we have not mentioned, not only in this episode, but in any episode yet this year. Avery Bro, 77 assists on the day. Hannah Ramirez, 35 digs on the day. So everybody's just kind of doing their part and contributing to these wins.
Well, I tell you, we've got a veteran squad, right? We're very fortunate to have that. And what you hope when you have a veteran squad is that they can go out there and say, hey, I have to do my job. Nobody needs to do it for me. I have to do my job. And when I don't perform, then it's going to be tough on my team. And the one thing I will say, though, is super happy that we got a couple of kids in there that hadn't played yet. Yajane Pat, just a bright energy kind of kid, and got in there and did a great job for us. So, again, just getting more people through that cycle of playing is going to help us in the long run.
On the road for the first time this year now, away from the friendly confines of historic Earl K. Long Gym. You head to Little Rock to play the Trojans. They are 0-2 on the season. They've had a postponement. They've had a canceled match. So, they don't have as many games as you do under their belt, but you have to love the momentum that you've created going into this match. Oh, no doubt. I'm so glad that we've been able to schedule these matches and play them at home. I was just talking to our chief of staff this morning and saying, okay, wait, how do we have to eat? Because, we're taking a bus, but we can't eat on the bus. And usually we eat on the bus all the time, right? And so we've got to figure out, our food. So all of it's going to be just a little bit different, right. But the girls have been great. You play them 3 times, and you've mentioned this on a couple of occasions. Any concerns with just, facing the same team that many times? That law of averages sometimes can creep in there on you because, let's just face it, it happens.
Well, I look at Arkansas State last year. We beat them twice in conference.
Right.
We play them first round of the conference tournament, and we're a much higher seed, and we lose in 5. And I think that familiarity sometimes can let people be lax, or can also, shift a momentum going one way or the other. But again, as I've been saying all along, we're going to play our whole roster, which will give us different looks. So hopefully in a 3-match weekend that we can come out 3-0.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time as always. Best of luck, and we'll have you back next week to talk about that and show you some highlights as well.
Coming up next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, head coach Lance Key talks about the late goals that lifted Texas State past Louisiana in their Sun Belt opener. Soccer is 2-2 on the new season.
At Courtesy Buick GMC, now is the best time to buy.
It is true. With the current rates and discounts, now is a great time to buy a new or used vehicle.
Get $13,000 off the MSRP on a 2020 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab. Stop by now at Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette.
The faculty will be impacted by advance, but really the faculty are the ones who have driven for decades this significant educational experience here. It's their passion and their love of students that have made undergraduate research and creative works, experiential learning in general, available to our undergraduate students. This is going to provide a mechanism for faculty to reach more students and provide the resources so that these faculty can entice more students into the experiential learning experience.
When it comes to professors, from a professor perspective, we are constantly looking to get students involved, not just in the classroom. We want that student that's going to raise their hand and engage, and we're actually looking, though, for not just that student, but for every student to engage in that same way. That said, it takes a lot of resources to not just do our own work, but to train other students to do it. When I think about my lab, for example, there's kind of my line of research and what I would do if I were just doing my own work and not mentoring anybody. And then there's all of the pieces involved in getting those students to engage in research in a meaningful way. There are financial resources, there are training resources. If I want to teach my students not just psychology, but how to do research of psychology, and not just psychology, but my particular area of psychology, that's a big burden for me to overcome. I've got to convince them that it's important, which I think just having the advanced program in place does. I've got to convince them or help them find resources, financial resources, so that they can take time off work or travel to a conference to present their work. And I've got to provide these fundamental skills that are about research that really aren't my expertise. So what the advanced program does for UL Lafayette professors is it provides us with extra resources to support those students, providing them with just the support of having an agency that's within the university that's entirely devoted to this little bit extra that they're trying to do.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. For the second consecutive week, the Ragin Cajun soccer team had only one match on the schedule. Here now to talk about that is the head coach, Lance Key. Sometimes sports can be a game of inches, and it seemed like almost every pivotal moment in the game against Texas State this past weekend was just an inch or two away from being a different result.
Yeah, I think you can certainly describe it that way. I think at the end of the day, the thing that I told our staff and I told the Texas State staff is I feel like in the end, the team on the day that put the best performance together won the game. It's a little disappointing, I think, for us to be able to go on the road and to open up conference and to only have one game on the weekend going into them who had played on Friday night. Mm-hmm. So I think it put us in a better position, even though we were on the road and had the travel in us. But late in the game, late in the half, and then ultimately late in the game is when I think we had some breakdowns. And that's disappointing too. Mm-hmm. It's something we work a lot on, spend a lot of focus on. And if we go back to the week before, a little bit of a repeat of that mental breakdown late in the game. I think as a player, you ask why. You got questions trying to figure out why that's happening. As a coach, as a staff, it's our responsibility to come up with answers for those questions. And so rest assured we're going to be spending a lot of time this week trying to come up with the answers to those solutions.
Yeah, Texas State gets a goal in the first half to make it 1-0, and then you had some opportunities. There were a few seconds left in the half, and Carlene Beedry sends one to the goal, and it just nicks the crossbar and comes straight down. I mean, that thing looked like it was going in, but a few inches here and there, and it's a different result. And you're going into the halftime. I believe there was only a second left at that point, and you're going into halftime tied, and instead you're down 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hopeful one.
Mm-hmm.
It was off of their restart. The play that led right up to that was a corner served in right at the near post that went in the goal, and they had just called Carlene for interfering with the goalkeeper, but the ball ended up in the back of the net, so that goal gets called back. The restart from there gets played right to her, and what she does, what you should do in that moment with just a few seconds left, is just try to put something on the frame. Mm-hmm. She was 40 yards away at the time, and she lifted it, cleared the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper, in the end, to her credit, got a little bit of a touch on the ball, which helped just to push it up into the post and ultimately kept it out. But yeah, going in 1-1 is different than going in down a goal.
So let's fast forward, about 15 minutes left in the contest, and you finally get a goal. Kiana Leger walls off her defender and sets up Caitlin Ferguson right in front of the goal, and she's able to tie things up at 1.
Yeah, we were really having a hard time creating good goal-scoring opportunities, in particular in the second half. And I think up to that point we had maybe one decent opportunity. And so we made a change. We brought both of those players on more or less together to bring a lift going forward and to hopefully create some ability to retain the ball And Kiana's a very, very tactical player, very technical player, very intelligent, very high soccer IQ. And we just felt like we needed that at the top of our shape to try to keep the ball and to try to bring other players in. And she did exactly what we hoped that she would do when she went in. She hadn't played a whole lot up to this point, but she came in and used her experience and used her intelligence, got in a great position right there in the box, and kept the ball alive and found Kate Ferguson. Kate Ferguson made a really good run from the top of the box into that space towards the near post to pick up that first touch and then just slotted it in. Again, another player who had just come on for the first time in the season. So really valuable minutes from both of those two players coming in and changing the game for us.
Una Ennisdatter gives you the lead 2-1, just about 1.5 minutes later to give you the 2-1 lead. But then it quickly evaporates. Texas State puts the equalizer on. And then 2 minutes after that, they take the lead for good. Again, Jordan Higgins was right there. It was a header and just a couple of inches away from her getting a stop on that. But eventually they take the lead and take the win.
Yeah, so the equalizer to go 2-2 was an opportunity that we had to win the ball in midfield. And we just didn't really make the effort to win it at an important time. We're up in great position to walk away with the game on the road and get those first 3 conference points and game management, just the ability to close it out. The effort needed there in the middle of the park, we didn't get it. They were able to get the ball down into a dangerous area and then finished it. And then the game winner, we had a chance to clear. We miscleared, went back to that player. We lost track of marks in the box, and they just took advantage of it. They were very opportunistic on the day. I think at the end of the day, they had more total shots, a lot of them sort of from distance, but had created more sort of goal-scoring opportunities in the final third, although the number of shots on goal were equal. We hit the post twice, but they were more opportunistic on the day, and to that point is why I thought they deserved to win the match.
Gotcha. All right, Coach, thanks for the time. As always, hopefully you guys are able to regroup, get back to the winning ways. That starts tomorrow night at home against Arkansas State.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, nothing God will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, mange.
You are UL Lafayette's #1 priority. That's why we're following guidelines set by national and local health experts to protect you during the COVID-19 pandemic. The university is reorganizing rooms and spaces to reinforce social distancing, sanitizing campus buildings, and mandating that everyone wears protective equipment. But don't just take our word for it. Take a look for yourself at some of the many safety measures we're implementing, and you'll see that our priority is you.
At Courtesy Chevrolet in Broussard, it's Truck Month, but it's also the best time to buy any new vehicle. Get a 2020 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Texas Edition, $12,000 off MSRP, or get a 2020 Chevrolet Equinox LS, $20,988. Courtesy Chevrolet in Broussard.
Thanks for watching another episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics. Be sure to catch us next week for more Ragin Cajuns coverage. Go Cajuns!